ladies and gentlemen, filmmakers and moviegoers alike, welcome to this week's episode of Critically Casual. I'm your host, Srekcuf5, and joining me, as always, is the super awesomely, hauntingly audacious, Dorkydev. What's up, Dev?
I have no idea where you were going with that one. Not gonna lie.
I just was throwing out adjectives.
I can tell.
No, one of them was going to land eventually. Eventually.
Did they?
Yeah, they totally. You're hauntingly pale and a day.
I'm actually not as pale as I was like a while ago, buddy. So fuck you. I've been in the sun quite a bit lately. So ha.
As pale as I once was.
As proof of concept.
Ooh.
And even this is tanner than it used to be.
I was about to say, you go from a bleach blonde to a nice platinum blonde.
See, now this is white.
You're a white boy.
Comparison.
Mm-hmm.
Holy shit! I've never compared that on camera.
Yeah, it happened. Have been here first, folks. Dev is white. Confirmed.
No shit, Sherlock. No, it's weird too because that technically is tanner than it used. My legs used to be too because I've been out in the sun in shorts a lot lately. So, a lot of catching up on my body to get an even looking ish tan.
Well, at least you'll have a better tan than most of the people that we'll talk about in this movie. Well, depends on who you're talking about in these two movies. But still, let's talk. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we hop into these movies?
I got nothing.
Okay, so let's start talking about this week, where I have called it "Amusement Means Amusing?" Question mark. Because these movies that we're watching today are based off of amusement park rides in Disneyland. So we're watching The Haunted Mansion and Jungle Cruise. I mean, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah, it'll be
Right?
fine. Yeah, these movies, totally fine. I'm just. All right, ready? Let's get in here. I've got nothing else. I've got no more filler. Let's just start talking about our first movie, The Haunted Mansion. Woo, The Haunted Mansion. The one ride I've been on out of these two.
I've been on none of them.
Oh.
Especially given I didn't even see this in theaters, which was released on November 26th of 2003. Jesus.
2003.
With a budget of $90 million, gross US and Canada opening weekend for those two, 24 million gross US and Canada 75 million, and worldwide 182 million.
So did it make money, Dev? I wasn't listening.
It doubled its profit. It doubled its budget. So,
It technically made what it spent once you add in advertising, maybe.
maybe.
Hopefully for them. But so this movie, all about a realtor and his wife who,
Who's also a realtor.
yeah, they work together as a team, except they don't really. And it's all an excuse for him not to take his kids on a family trip until they finally make it at the end. But
This movie is unoffensive but boring.
I agree with that for the most part. It's definitely unoffensive, definitely boring. I rewatched it last night and have already forgotten.
Dude, I watched it yesterday morning and I'm trying to pull the strands. I'm like, there was a lady in a green orb. There were two. There was a housekeeper and a maid.
Mm-hmm. And then the
There
butler.
was butler and the owner.
Those are all the ghosts. But
Steven, spoilers.
sorry. Yes. But my question
Ghosts
is,
in this? What?
Oh, haunted mansion has ghosts.
What?
Oh. But my ultimate question is,
Thought it was the old man down the road, Mr. Jenkins.
yeah, wearing the mask and the football pads. And
Exactly.
he would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those rascally
Meddling
kids.
realtors.
Yeah.
Masculine realtors.
Yeah. So this movie, it's fine. It really is okay. There's nothing that really draws my attention. The only scene that I can remember is there's a handful of scenes like the orb, like you were talking about, the because she, by far, the orb lady, my favorite person in this entire movie. By
Yes.
far. Best part to me.
Played by Jennifer Tilly.
That was great. She was good. Jennifer Tilly, Madame Leota.
Terrence Stamp is somehow drug into this.
Yeah, he was okay. Wallace Shawn, I like his voice. That's about it.
Eddie Murphy's here.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the main character. Where by the end of the movie, he's done nothing at all.
He drove a car.
He drove like yes, but there's no development for why the movie should end the way it ends. Other than he's like, I'll listen to my kids once, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
So there's no main character development for why the movie ends, especially when it comes to the actual confrontation. There is no confrontation. It just kind of ends. And then when the movie ends, it's confusing to me because everything bad that was happening was supposed to have ended. Yet we still have the statues.
Who says they were bad?
And the orb. And I understand what you're talking about, but like you get the idea that I'm talking about there. Like,
I get what you're going for, but
yeah.
you know, it is what it is, Steven. It's a kids movie? Question mark?
Movie.
Oh, is it a kids movie? Are we considering this a kids movie?
Uh,
It's a kids movie, isn't it?
I would say yeah. Anything made by Disney really is pretty kidsy, I'd say.
I don't want to give this a kid's point.
You know what scene I remember now? The tarantula scene. That's easy to remember for me.
Yeah, but you got a fear of spiders.
Yeah,
so-
there's lots of spiders. But were they real? Were they ever really real?
No. Those are the most fake ass spiders I've ever seen.
Yeah, the real
Yeah,
question.
I mean, this movie's just really there. Like I heard people hate on this movie as being like a really bad movie, but it's not. It's literally just punching the ticket in and punching the ticket out.
Yeah, it does kind of remind me of the Haunted Mansion ride because this, like I said, this is the one ride in Disneyland out of these two movies that I have ridden, and it was a bunch of like not so scary jump scares and some interesting things that kind of caught my attention at times, but ultimately, it's like it's supposed to be. It feels like it was supposed to be like a thriller adventure, and it was kind of thrilling if you were a kid, absolutely, but. That's why we give it the kid point. But other than that, I feel like it's just it's 100% its own story that solves its own problem, and the only thing that we had to do was get character 1 to spot 2, and then the movie progressed on its own. Like,
Well, my other thing too about it too is, you said it's supposed to be thrilling for kids. I remember watching this as a kid. I don't remember the movie, so it wasn't very thrilling.
you mean the ghost orb appearing, and then the woman in the orb appearing wasn't thrilling?
No. I didn't even remember there was a scene in the crypt. I forgot that scene even existed.
That's
We
probably
got-
the most thrilling scene in this whole.
Uh-huh. I got there and I'm like, wait, wasn't this supposed to all be in the mansion? We're outside of the mansion?
But we're on the mansion's property.
Like, I don't remember how, like, I didn't remember that there's a part where Eddie ends up outside during the climax.
Mm.
Had no recollection of that. Just that I just remember the movie just kind of resolving itself. That's it.
Because it does. It does resolve itself. One guy says go to hell, and then the movie ends. Wow, that was easy.
That was easy.
Really. So, and that's kind of how easy this review I feel should be. Like, I feel like we're pretty much done already.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, like, what else we could add to it. Like,
The kid actors were fine. Everybody was okay.
I mean, everyone was there to punch it. Terrence Stamp wasn't okay in this movie. He's a better actor than what he gave in this movie. I'll say that. I'll say it.
Everyone was just there for the paycheck on this one.
Yeah.
The kids tried.
I can't blame them for that. It's like, Disney offers you what, probably
Around $20 million, you know? At least if you're a female actress, they'll offer you that much.
see, we gotta think 2003.
Oh, right. Probably $5 million then. Well,
If you're Eddie Murphy.
yeah. We'll talk about that later, though. Or
Yeah.
more about that kind of numbers later.
Yeah.
So yeah, oh, I don't really know what else to talk about on this.
There's not much to add, Steven.
Yeah. So here's your popcorn kernels, Dev. You got 10 of them.
Well, after a kid point, I was gonna put this as middle of the road as possible out of 5. But kid point puts it as 6, which feels too high, but
So
I can't
say you're
argue
gonna
it.
give it a 4.
I can't do that in good conscience, Steven.
No one
I've
will
never
judge
done
you.
that before. I've never done it before, so
We've never seen movies based off of a roller coaster before.
do we add these to the entertainment list? Does this beat Battleship?
Oh, you're funny. Yeah, no. I mean, if you want to give it a 6 with kids point, all for it, my dude.
Well, that's how I rate. I give my rating beforehand and then I add the point. That makes the kid point fair.
It does.
Are you telling me you haven't been doing that, Steven? Have
No,
you been
I have.
violating the sanctity of the child point?
Wasn't I the one who made that a thing?
I think it was a mutual thing. I think we talked about it. We're like, do we need to add a child point? Because it's like either the movie is like really good or it's not.
And we know it's not. We're not the target audience. That's for sure.
Yes.
So, but yeah, for me, for my score on this movie, before the kids point, I was leaning towards a very middle of the road 5. Well, so give it a nice 6 overall.
Okay. You know what? That was good guessing on myself. I put 6 across the board after I remembered the kid point. Well, hopefully next time that they do this kind of thing about a ride that isn't about pirates, it's enjoyable.
I was about to say, don't say about any ride because I'm pretty sure Pirates came out a few months later.
Shh, I got there.
Movie did.
Pirates came out in like 05.
I was going to say Haunted Mansion came out in 03. It says here.
Yeah, I'm saying Pirates. I think was 05.
No, it says also in 03.
Oh, is it in 03? Oh,
yeah. I just need
November of 03 is Mansion.
Okay. I need to go back to Pirates because I had just jumped. Okay, Pirates of the Black Pearl came out
Summer blockbuster.
June 2003.
Yeah, summer.
So technically before Haunted Mansion.
Yeah. This is completely a tangent.
Oh, wait, no, I was wrong. Technically, it came out July 9th because Disneyland had a premiere in June. But then the official release in the US was July 9th. But yeah. But then, now, after all these years, and lots and lots and lots
Hey,
of
hold on. When did Country Bear come out? I might not need to revise my statement.
country. I don't know what it is. The Country Bears came out in 2002.
Okay, cool. I don't need to revise my statement. That's not a sequel, because then I think there was a Country Bears 2 for some god awful reason.
Oh, why did you have to remember that? Are we gonna have to watch that for the live actions now?
Oh no! Why did I remember that? What did I
have
do?
you done?
Oh no!
I look. There's people in this movie, Dev. What have you done? Oh,
Oh shit!
I didn't know this movie existed. Holy shit!
Ray should we have talked about it before when talking about this week's movies.
How country are these bears?
We'll find out later, Steven.
All right.
We'll worry about it later.
Oh God, what have you done to us?
Oh fuck! Shit! What did I do? What did I do?
Well, it gives us more time for that list we were just talking about.
We need to see. Now I don't know which is gonna be worse. Do we cap it with that, or do we cap it with the last two Pirates movies?
That's a good question. I mean, then you also have to ask, like, are we gonna do the properties that are based off of like the Grimm tales before the Disney movies? Like,
No, we're just doing Disney ones.
okay, because like we could do Snow White and the Huntsman, even though that's not.
You keep pushing that
because it's so. I want to. It's so middle of the road, you know.
I know. I don't. We're not adding it to that list. If you want to throw it in a week, fine. Fuck it,
No.
we'll do it. But we're not adding it to that list. We will not break our sanctity of our Disney live action weeks.
I feel like there's also another Snow White movie that came out too around that same time that I can't remember.
Yes, I think it had Julia Roberts.
Oh yeah.
I think it was a comedy.
I'm not gonna look it up at this
Steven. Yeah, no, we've tangented long enough. Let's talk about Jungle Cruise.
But we followed the wrong fork down the river, and it took us an extra 2 days to get there. It's fine.
I fucking hate it here. But that is, well, I can't say that's par for the course of this movie, pun intended.
Yeah. By the way, everyone, we are now gonna start talking about Jungle Cruise.
Dude, okay. After I get through the day, I need to talk about that. Which was released July 30th, this last weekend of 2021. Current gross for US and Canada is 35 million, with a worldwide at 62 million. Not awful, not great for current climate of movies. Bro, as soon as The Rock busts into puns, this movie had me. I'm not gonna lie.
I was for it. I was like, oh, these are we're going for this kind of humor. I'm all in.
And from that moment on, this movie had me. I'm not gonna lie. I genuinely enjoyed this movie. Like, it's so middle of the road with everything else, but this cast just makes this movie alive. Because who do we got? We have Dwayne The Rock Johnson, our carryover from last week.
Mm-hmm.
We have Emily Blunt, who is just amazing in this movie. We have Jack Whitehall, who I don't know if I've ever seen anything with him in it before this.
Jack Whitehall? Yeah, I don't know if I have either. I'm like looking through his IMDb now, actually.
But I think he was fantastic. And was a really good foil to the other two.
He was. It was fun to watch him, and like his character was very entertaining. Though I have.
Do we talk about the thing that we will have to talk about the thing?
We'll have to talk about the thing
because Disney keeps doing this thing where they say a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, Jesse Plemons is in this movie and is as delightful of a pain in the ass as he always is in films that he's in. Plemons is one of those people that the moment you see him, I didn't realize he was in this movie. The moment he was in, I'm like, okay, here we go. We've got Jesse Plemons.
I was half expecting him to start asking some guy in a submarine to start making meth, but you know.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Whatever.
And then, out of fucking nowhere, I had no idea he was in this movie either. But Paul motherfucking Giamatti is in this movie? What? What?
It's him.
Yeah, this movie was fun. I have no real, like, because it doesn't do anything, like, really wrong. It just kind of has fun with itself. It's a silly premise, and in all honesty, it's an open and closed story, which I give Disney credit for. They could make a sequel, but it's not going to be involving the same stuff. It could just be a different adventure story.
Yeah, it's going to be Jungle Cruise 2, where they have to kidnap the president of the United States. And...
Okay. Are you making a reference to the fucking Hall of Presidents?
No, I was more making a reference towards National Treasure. But
oh, okay, fair. I thought you were referencing the Hall of Presidents ride, because I was thinking within the realm of rides.
No, you're not wrong. There's a hippopotamus on this ride.
Yes. I genuinely, like, there wasn't a moment. This movie didn't feel like it was long. It's 2 hours, and it didn't feel long to me. I know it probably did for you.
It definitely did for me. I almost fell asleep
this
week.
No, fair enough. That really, they're trading weeks for us. I don't know. I had fun with this.
Like, I definitely had fun with this. I'm not going to disagree with that. There were definitely a lot of fun moments in this movie. The best moment being the 2 to 5 minute long adult joke montage between the 3 of the crew with a sword.
100%.
That was by far my favorite moment of the film, because I had the pleasure of being in this, like, it was not a packed theater. But I could sit in there with how bright the movie was and turn around and look at the crowd and be like, okay, there was 15 kids in this whole theater. There are 10 adults, and this 2 to 5 minute montage is going off of them telling jokes. And I see all the parents just stiffen up like, oh God, they're doing this. They're making this series of jokes, and I
have the opposite experience of you, because I went VIP for this because I said, fuck it. This is the only showtime I'm going to make it today. Because I went out on Saturday. So I was like, all right, I've got to go to a late showing. It's either I wait till 9:40 to watch this movie. And I'm like, no one's going to be in there, which is fine. But I'm going to get out at like midnight. And I don't want to do that to myself. This movie's not worth that to me. So I'm like, I'll pay the extra like $5. I'll go VIP, get myself some fries. See, I've loaded fries and a bad granny drink.
That's pretty good.
And enjoy this. So just a bunch of adults who are drinking during a movie. During that scene, Steven.
And that sounds pretty fun.
Oh God, it was great. We were all fucking laughing.
Like, I sat there laughing. I was like, oh God, no. None of the kids were laughing. All the parents were like, no, stop laughing.
I, dude, like the moment the pun started at the beginning, like the theater like started laughing and everything, and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a fun one. I'm gonna enjoy this. I think part of my experience, why I probably enjoyed it more than you, is probably due to being in VIP for it.
Well, either way, like this movie has me on other things too. Like, for instance, the CG in this movie was awful throughout the entire thing. I know that's not the main reason why people are here. It's to see the Dwayne the Rock Johnson and Emily Blunt, but whatever. The CG
Oh, the
was
CGI is
awful,
bad sometimes.
real fucking bad. Doesn't matter what it is. Even the environmental stuff is noticeably bad at times.
Yes.
The how do I explain this? The character development with The Rock's character is cliche at best and also very tension eliminating. So that's a little disappointing, but you know, whatever. Plus, I'm pretty sure that's not what happens in the ride, but like, whatever.
Who the fuck cares, Steven? It's a ride.
I've never been on this ride, so I have no idea.
Steven, I'm looking at this like I did Pirates.
Yeah.
Okay.
There you go. And let's see what else happened in this movie. It was definitely a forced romance plot, that's for sure. That didn't have to happen the way it did, but it happened.
Didn't have to, but they have chemistry and it worked.
Like they have great on-screen chemistry, absolutely. And McGregor, the brother, also amazingly fun and funny. But I'm so disappointed with what Disney did with him and around him, publicity-wise.
All right, here we go. We're getting into it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Disney, stop saying you have their first gay character. And like each time you do it, it's like a half step.
Yeah, like once again, reason
he said he's not into women.
Yeah, he didn't even say he's gay. He's like, I just have different tastes.
He doesn't even have like with that. He doesn't even define him as being gay. He could be ace. He could be just not. He could just be like into multiple people and stuff like that. It's just it's a non-answer.
And I feel like they get away with it too because like in the frame in this movie, it's passable. Only because it's framed in the context of this film, which takes place in the 1960s or 40s, I think, during World War II.
World War One.
World War One. So 1920s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Teens.
Teens. Yeah, it takes place all the way down then, and it's excusable in the context because it's not socially acceptable then to talk about. So he's afraid to talk about it openly with other people. However, like that was a critique I heard, or like a justifiable explanation behind it. However, like they also try to justify the misogyny and the whole by like making it lighter by being the lady with trousers, the woman with pantalones, like. That's clearly early women's misogyny that they're just trying to glaze over in a funny joke way as well to make all this like it fits in the context of the early era that they fit it in. But then once you try to dial it up to be like, yeah, we're woke, it's bullshit. It's not good enough. And they try to be all public about it too. Like, yeah, it's our first openly gay, and
yeah. Dude, I'm so tired of Disney doing this shit. Like,
this is
come
like
on.
the fourth or fifth time they've done that, I think. And like,
seriously.
Did they even do that for Loki, by the way? Did they say Loki is an openly gender fluid character?
No, he never, like, it just, not like he is in the comics.
Yeah. Just, yeah. That was probably my favorite, how they did it with Loki. How like it was subtle and they talked about it, and sure it was kind of like the love plot and the relationship in Loki. Once I've kind of gone through and watched the series again like, for a second time all the way through, and it was definitely not a subtle love plot, but I like how it was brought up in the context of the show to introduce his sexuality and gender. I'm trying to think of the right words. Like I just like how they brought it up in the context, and it wasn't like
His gender
shameful.
identity.
Yeah, yeah. Like I just like how it was brought up in that context rather than in this context in this movie. It like I know it's the same setup where it's two characters sitting and just talking to each other, but it's also used in a cheap way to build like character and trust between our Emily Blunt and Dwayne the Rock Johnson, because the idea is Dwayne the Rock Johnson is having a really rough time being able to communicate and talk to Emily Blunt properly. So instead of talking to her, he talks to her brother, and like, so tell me about your sister. How can which I'm sure that's how people do it in real life. I don't know. I've been single for way too long, but
Yeah, it sort of is. You talk to people who know the person.
mhm. But still, I like they use the context of let me know about your sister for us to find out that he is, I guess, maybe gay. We'll say yes, he is gay because that's what they lead us to believe, but they don't actively say it. But hey, whatever.
Yeah, I'm just.
That was the disappointing thing.
Yeah, I mean, they just keep doing the same shit. Like, Disney just has some disappointing things that it does. For for other stuff being of high quality.
Mm. Like this
That's the biggest
movie,
problem.
yeah. This movie, even though it has some low quality CG, it has high quality acting and talent. I would still call this a high quality movie in its own aspects, but they still have some crappy things that they have to work. I really hope that Disney gets put in their place pretty soon. But we could talk about that later in news.
Yes.
Um, but back onto this movie and things that happen in this film. Um, one character, one whole story arc that I probably could have gone without is Prince Joachim,
Yeah.
whatever his actual German pronunciation is. I freaking Nazi troop, man. Yay.
They're not Nazis.
No?
It's World War One, Steven.
I don't know. Almost Nazi.
Actually, not yet, even. They still had
They had
give
18 years?
No, give it 10 years? I think tail end of the 20s is when Hitler started accruing power.
It wasn't very
Or
long.
into the 30s. No. It was like a decade.
I remember either 8 to 10, and I just put it together to 8. I'm bad at history. Don't mind. Either way. I just didn't like him, the prince, and like his whole
33 is when he was appointed Chancellor of Germany.
33?
33. So he probably started accruing power late 20s.
I was about to say World War One ended in 2018, didn't it?
1918?
Yeah,
I think.
2018. Jesus Christ. I'm dumb today.
Yeah, I noticed. Don't worry, buddy. We're here for you.
You're here for me. I appreciate
it. Yeah, that's what I do. Yeah, I agree though. Like on the parts that, like his character isn't necessary. I think it's funny, and I think Jesse Plemons, like I don't know, I love seeing him and shit. Okay, he's this weird presence where like you don't know what level of unhinged his character is going to be. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I hear you.
So I never know exactly what we're gonna get out of him because he could just be completely normal, or he could be a mob person, or he could be a fucking white supremacist, or a crazy German prince. Like
I did like the interaction with the two German prince underling characters. Like, I thought they were funny, especially the whole taking order. You know, like,
Which I find weird that they're suddenly questioning it after seeing those dudes get resurrected.
huh? I mean, we saw the dudes get resurrected. That's a good point. I was gonna just talk about the snake, but the resurrection's more extreme.
Listen, I mean, also why we always gotta have 4 different powered people as like villains?
I thought something was silly about that, extremely dumb about that. Even silly, fine, but like, yeah, they're cursed. So, and they were trapped away from where they're supposed to be. So that means powers. Sure.
Yeah, sure.
Because
Why not?
because the forest started to eat them. Ooh, but they couldn't die. Worse than torture. Pretty dark.
Steven, would you hate it if your power ended up being spiders?
Yes. If I literally became a pile of spiders, I would hate every moment. I would be happier as a beehive. I still hate bees. I'd be happier as a beehive.
I think I'd be happier as a beehive.
We're ugly.
Then I know they're not going to
delicious.
sting me. Because then they're not going to sting me. You know what I mean?
Then they'll dance with you and talk to you and communicate with you and be your friend.
And I get free honey.
Yeah, with spiders, all they would get me is a lot
You
of...
get cool clothing.
If I want to touch their butts a lot, sure.
Oh, you can just make them do it.
I still have to, like, get the silk, don't I?
No, you just make them do the wrapping and all that.
Yeah, I guess I could make them sentient.
Yes, you can. By default.
Yeah, it just happens. Because they are me now. I'm my own... Call me Spider-Man. Wait.
No. Spiders, man.
Because that's Batsman?
No,
It's not.
You don't know about spiders, man?
Oh, wait. Oh, yeah, it's a bunch of spiders. Oh, that's spiders.
That have the conscience that believe they are Peter Parker.
Yeah, that's right. Can I just be Peter Porker? Got about the right weight.
No. Yeah, I got nothing else to add. I'm not gonna lie.
Who is? I think it is Salem Calderon. He's the tribal leader, right, in this movie?
She's the daughter from the flashback.
Okay,
You're looking for Veronica.
that's right.
Falcone.
Veronica Falcone. Trader Sam. I gotta say, Trader Sam and the white top hat, really a vibe that I liked. Probably my favorite outfit in the whole movie, but it only because it reminded me of another Disney property, Princess and the Frog.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's what it was directly inspired by in this moment, but whatever. Let's see. What was it?
I'm gonna say this on the off chance that certain things do get connected this year. This is our maybe Marvel connection of the day.
Okay.
Paul Giamatti,
Oh,
who played Rhino in Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, this could get nixed later, based off of what Spider-Man 3 does.
mm-hmm. It took me a moment. Sorry, I was like, "Wait, how is he? What is?"
But we'll see. Which, by the way, Steven, I have something to talk to you with after the show.
Oh God. Okay. Is
It's
it
nothing crazy.
theories?
No.
Okay.
Well,
Kinda.
maybe, but not if you don't want it to.
Okay.
But yes.
Trying to think, there like this movie to me was very okay. Once again, I'm trying to think of all the things that like. There's a lot of stuff in this movie that caught my attention that bugged me, but I also towards the end of the movie, especially when they got to the part of solving the puzzles, um, not the first puzzle, but the second puzzle with the water.
Yeah.
When they got
That
to
was. Oh wait, that was the first puzzle.
was it the first puzzle? Yeah, yeah. I guess the only puzzle in this movie then. Uh,
Well, the second one was a puzzle, but it was the arrowhead.
hmm, I'm getting mixed up then because
He goes water puzzle arrowhead.
oh, that's right, that's right. Yeah, yeah. Either way, once the water puzzle started, and then once we got into the area, that's when I started falling asleep because that's when all the like the character drops and we're supposed to be like serious plot moments are happening, and they had not developed me to have any interest in this plot at all. I was very interested in the characters, just not the story that was happening around the characters. So once it
That's
was
fair.
story driven moment, I was like,
That's
and
fair.
and then the freaking tension and like suspense that this movie develops is around a time limit that is incredibly arbitrary, especially
That we have no understanding of.
yeah, that we have no understanding of, and then time goes backwards at one point in this movie, apparently, somehow or something, because you know, movie has to end on a happy note. So yeah, there's that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, this movie was fine. It was fun. If I had to give it my popcorn kernels, do I have to do that, Dev? Do I have?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I zoned out for a sec.
No worries, I understand. If I had to give it my popcorn kernels before the kids point, because this one also deserves a kids point, I would give it a 6. So after it gets 7.
Man, I read you like a book this week. 100%.
I'm not that hard to read, honestly. At this point, we've literally
Sometimes you are. Sometimes you are. I'm so off.
I guess it depends on my mood that day.
Well, it also like depends on how you talk about the movie. Um, 8.5 for me because I was gonna give it a 7.5 because I genuinely enjoyed this. Which was at an 8. Because yeah, no, I actually found myself really enjoying this movie. Overall, from like that perspective, the Disney doing stupid shit thing still bugs me. But from a movie being a movie thing, I enjoy the movie as a whole.
It was a fairly entertaining movie. I'll give it that. Definitely wasn't a bad movie. Let's get into spoilers.
Let's get ready to spoiler!
Hey. So the thing that bugs me the most is our development with Frank slash Francisco, and how he too is an immortal first being to forever walk the plane. And like, I was actually kind of happy for a moment because I genuinely thought, like, for the first time in any Dwayne the Rock Johnson movie, he lost a fight. I was like, whoa, that's never happened. Is he actually dead? Oh, no. Like, sure, technically he lost the fight, which barely happens.
Well, he loses fights. He's allowed to lose fights. He just has to win in the end.
Yeah. And I would have loved to have seen him actually just be dead. And then they have to end the movie with just the two of them together. Like, I don't know.
Steven,
It's Disney.
I was gonna say it's a kids movie.
Yeah.
This ain't Lion King.
They gave us 2 minutes of hand job jokes, man.
We wouldn't have gotten that if the Dwayne The Rock Johnson was dead.
Plus, they had some pretty unkids movie moments in there, like that one the Mongolian. I don't know why. The one conquistador character who is the beehive literally gets shot in the face and spits out a honey-covered bullet.
Also, this movie is thirsty.
It spent a lot of time staring at Emily Blunt. Yes.
And The Rock.
Yeah. I can only trust you as far as I can throw you, and since you're a lot of man, that's not very far.
God, that was great. Yeah, no, this movie is hungry. Like, that's the only way I know how to put it. It wants something.
It's just, every time he's looking at that key, she thinks he's looking at her, and she's like, I kind of like this. Which, I did think it was kind of silly that we go from, not technically a key, that we go from it's an arrowhead to it's a heart that you have to break, and then it fixes itself. But hey, now you got the two pieces of the puzzle. But whatever. I almost wanted that riddle itself to be the resolution of the love plot, where at that
Ending
point,
a broken heart.
Yeah, at that point, Emily Blunt and The Rock had such a good relationship development that she mended his broken heart, and because he was brokenhearted about how his best friend had treated those people.
God, like, there's a moment where I gotta give this movie credit for this. There's a moment where they make you almost sympathetic for the Conquistador. I'm like, well, are we really doing this? And then they immediately go, but you won't be because they're assholes. I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
Disney. At least you didn't fuck up making the Conquistadors like relatable.
Mm.
Like, you understand why wants to do it, but like his method is just like, fuck you, I'm a colonizer.
Yeah. But yeah, I was thankful for that. It was just a plain, simple, old. He's just a bad person doing bad things.
What was that noise?
Sorry, it was Animal found a thing. We have a new toy.
Oh, okay. Jeez, I just heard a click, click. I was wondering if my earphone, if my headphones were going off for a second. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah. Your new headphones are breaking already. That noob.
No, they're like How long have I had the mixer? 2 years, I think.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, 2019 is when I got it, right? Yeah. I got it in 2019.
Mm-hmm. I had an old moment yesterday. I know I'm not actually old, but still, I put on Incredibles 2, only to be like, this came out 3 years ago already. Fuck.
That was 3 years ago.
Yeah, 2018 is when Incredibles 2 came out.
It's like the last movie me and my brother Kyler went to together.
That was 3 years ago.
Holy shit!
It doesn't feel like it because I remember sitting here having this conversation about that movie.
I was back in Wenatchee, wasn't I? By that point, oh my god! It was that long ago. The fuck?
Yeah. So it's weird to think about how time works sometimes.
Yeah.
But
we really haven't talked about this movie that much on
not
spoilers,
really.
have we?
No. But Jungle Cruise spoilers. Once I found out about Francisco, I was a little let down because now I was like, oh yeah, now there's definitely no way that we can't lose. Like, I know there's no way we're gonna lose this thing anyways, but now I was like, oh, now there's definitely no way we can lose. He's immortal. He doesn't even bleed or feel pain. The bad news is he doesn't have a superpower other than he's really strong.
Other than him being Dwayne The Rock
Yeah,
Johnson?
That's his superpower. He's Dwayne The Rock Johnson, who could lift refrigerators with his bare hands. Let's see. Other thing. I don't know why Emily Blunt not knowing how to swim needed to be a character moment because at no point does she have to overcome her fear of water for a movie moment, other than to build tension that like, oh, she can't breathe under, but no one can breathe underwater.
Yeah.
um, that still I'm mad about the whole brother thing, but that's another story that we already covered.
Yep. The puns were good.
Puns are great. Puns. I especially liked how it ended. It started with puns. It ended with puns. And her pun, Emily Blunt's pun, was probably my favorite one in this whole movie because it was so subtle yet so like, ah, you're exhausting as they're sitting in a car for the first time.
It being an exhaust engine.
That was that was great.
Okay, I gotta get my number 5 is a live laugh. That's what we should do. We should do short circuit at some point.
Short Circuit. Why not? We got a bunch of movies we should do at some point.
We should. We just outside of new movies, we don't pick a lot of other. Our weeks off are very sporadic as to what we choose to do.
Yeah, we should. At some point, we'll just start going through movies we actually want to see again, rather than movies we think would make good movies. Who knows? One of these days.
One of these days. Anyways.
Yeah, so Jungle Cruise. Let's see. Anything else I really want to talk about? Yeah, still don't like the prince. He's fine. Like, for an antagonist that gets the movie started, sure, it's fine. But still wish it was someone else.
Yeah.
Anything else, really. Like, this just felt really like early Disney for me, which I understand that it's based off a ride, but it like, I felt like they were just going into old tropes where it's like, yeah, Germans are bad people. We got tribal people of the forest. We've got the Spaniard conquistadors trying to conquest. Like, it all just felt very basic.
Yeah, I could see that as being the truth for me as well.
It's fine, I guess. Like, it's just, I wanted, like I always say, I wanted more. And
That's fair.
A freaking submarine in the jungle is the hardest part for me to believe.
Yeah, well, I mean, we all played Uncharted, so it happens.
Well, yeah. It's almost like Dwayne Johnson was like, I was in this movie once called Fast and Furious 8, Fate of the Furious. And
I half expected a reference to that with the torpedo.
Yeah. Or he
needed to
reaches
be.
out and grabs it in the river and turns it back around or something.
No, like I wanted the brother to go, can't you just like grab it and turn it around? It's a torpedo.
Something.
No.
Instead, they jump over it using a boat. And a boathouse.
Which is still hilarious.
And then
they luck their way out of it.
Like, I almost wish Nilo, Paul Giamatti's character, was what they replaced the prince with throughout the whole movie. Like,
And I just have Jesse Plemons as his German like henchman.
Sure. Yeah.
Who just so happens to have army connections and has a submarine.
Sure. I mean, you could just take out the submarine altogether, but
Steven, it's funny, okay? There's a submarine in the Amazon.
I want to see that in the Jungle Cruise ride. Where's that submarine part, huh?
They'll add it in the next editions.
Let's see. Because that way too, it's like we have Lily, the main character, who just stole from Nilo, and then we have Frank, the main character, who also stole from Nilo, in this like small world situation, and then they're working together to try and outrun him, and then whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, this movie is a little bit of a weird thing about like it being a small world after all. Um
I mean, this movie has a lot of random moments and vibes that it steals from it. Well, not steals, but like it alludes to. Like I got a couple of Indiana Jones moments in there. I
yeah.
definitely felt some like um what's the word I'm thinking of?
I got some Romance in the Stone vibes.
Yeah, there was that. There was I'm only because it was Dwayne the Rock Johnson. I was thinking Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Yeah.
Kind of a bunch of random other movies that I've seen that was all thrown together in this. The snakes was from I guess I watched Doctor Who recently, where a character was all snakes.
Hmm.
Yeah, that one it took me a moment. Not gonna lie. We have Groot here. I wish it was actually Vin Diesel who played it.
No, they're never gonna be on screen again together.
Never ever
Stop.
again.
Never ever again.
Because there was some tough love, according to Vin Diesel. Yeah, I haven't really got much else. There's not much depth to this movie. Very surface level, riding on the
But
surface of the ocean or a river, juggle.
agreed. But it does a good job of it.
Yeah, that's fine. Good cutaways, pretty funny at much. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Movie, I guess it's off to snooze. I mean, news. One of these, I can't wait for when you can do it quickly. Like, like that'll be a good day.
So it's gotta be a small pause. So it's gotta be like wait, hold on. It's in between the letters.
Mm-hmm. I'm picturing just like the Western shows, almost like Tremors, where they have that one scene where they're just sitting there and the telegraph is just clicked.
So if I did it all at once, it'd be this. Kind of. It doesn't like spell the letters. 'Cause it's like a long, short, 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 long, long. Because N is just a long, short. So long,
and
short.
yeah,
E is just a short. S is 3 shorts. And then W is short, long, long.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not a Morse code professional or a telegraph person who sat there translating telegraphs, but I'm pretty sure they would just write down short, long, like all the short, long stuff, and then eventually they translate it, decode it.
I mean, yeah, but like you may not know if like hold on, let me look at this real quick. I could be writing like on which ones? I could write T. I could literally just be writing T5T.
Could be,
Doing that.
but I don't know.
Because there's 5. No, sorry, it'd be 6 shorts. So it'd be what? TE5T or T5ET?
Tim Fagiti, yes. I think part of it is also like context, common sense. Like if you read 10.5 ET, it's like I doubt that's what he meant. What else could it be? I mean, this is just It's just me here. I
It'd be THE. Uh, T. The
but
T.
but but yeah, still. So news.
News.
The only thing, I mean, there's a couple of bits of news that we could talk about, but the one thing that I really wanted to talk about is, you know, how Disney has done some dumb stuff with their first gay character on screen, like in this movie. They also fucked up with how they treated one of their main actors, Scarlett Johansson, and I knew this is what they were trying to do, and I've seen it on the internet, and I'm like, I can't believe it worked. People are dumb, but whatever. It's what happens is in the entire history of Marvel movies, Scarlett Johansson's standalone film Black Widow is the only movie to have a digital release at the same time as its theatrical release, and believe it or not, actors get paid more based off of how much money they make in the box office. It's just how their contracts have worked up until this point. It's how that stuff works out. And what Scarlett Johansson said was they worked out a contract to where her movie would not go to digital release at the same time as the theatrical release. Because that would cut the box office money that she would make, and thus cuts out the amount of money that she would make in the end, like because of the goals and milestones that she misses. So that's what happened. Black Widow has, I believe, the second lowest box office opening weekend in all of Marvel history, and Scarlett Johansson's not happy. She sues Disney. Disney.
Well,
Go ahead. Sorry.
dude, well, and part of that problem right there is just how this movie was done. A, it was done way later in the timeline than it should have been, as we talked about that week. It was advertised poorly until like most recently. But if you don't sell people on your first trailer, even if you're a Marvel movie, you're gonna lose people.
Mm-hmm.
And like, you have to be intriguing in that first trailer. You have to sell it, and they just didn't. Because I remember seeing that first trailer, being like, "This one's gonna be kind of to me."
I had no interest in seeing Black Widow, only other than the show. Like,
yeah, I mean, I was gonna watch it regardless of the show because I'm a Marvel boy.
yeah.
I mean, obviously,
Now and for life,
pretty much.
for all time, always.
But continue on about the
but what happens? So
yes.
Disney gets this lawsuit, and their response is that they're like, this is disconcerting and disheartening because it neglects the $20 million that we have paid her for her acting ability, and apparently they followed the contractual guidelines of their contract. So, and this is funny too because Kevin Feige has gone out and said that, like, this was also, he's gone out and said he sides with Scarlett Johansson in this, and he does not think Disney should have done the digital release at the same time as the theatrical release. He thinks that they should have done more, and they should have given her more. And I agree with them, especially when Disney does that stupid tactic of saying, "Yeah, we paid you $20 million for this movie," and
But how much did every other goddamn mainstay player in the MCU get?
exactly what I was told when I first went to school for film production is, if you are a talent, you never advertise how much you are for, because once they find out how much you, like, once the general public finds out how much you cost per movie, you will never make more than that ever again, type thing. And um from that point on, uh what they did is, because it's such a large number for the common person, they're trying to villainize her in the eyes of the public, being like, oh, she's greedy, she's selfish. And they framed it as well as in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, because they're like, yeah, we did this so we don't have to force more people in the theater, so they're safer. You don't care about people's safety. And that's clearly not what she is.
Oh yeah, no, and like part of it too is just like the only people who are gonna agree with that take are gonna be the chuds. Which, if you know the term, you got me straight up. But yeah, the chuds are gonna be ones on the side. You're gonna get the Ben Shapiro's being like, well, this is her being very, very demanding and very uncool with this.
Mm.
It is very liberal of her to want more, always asking for more.
Mm-hmm.
Which is bullshit when other people in her same fucking position would have gotten paid way more.
Yeah, like what they should do now is also release how much they pay Robert Downey Jr. and um, you know, Chris Evans, and every like
Mark
they
Ruffalo.
they have done something that's so like it's below the belt really in the entertainment industry.
Oh, yeah, and people could see that. People who actually understand what's going on see that
Mm.
because the world is more like able to see these things happen in real time, so and actually react to it in a way that makes more sense.
Yeah, and that just like it. I first saw it and I was like, they didn't. That's fucked up. They really just tried to turn the general public against her because they treated her wrong. But they don't. So I really hope Disney loses this lawsuit, and I really hope there's more lawsuits against them too, because I freaking saw Emma Stone is. I think it's Emma Stone, the actress for Cruella,
Yes.
is also now thinking about suing them for the digital and video release. And there was an interview that I saw with Variety, I believe it was, that was talking to Dwayne Johnson about him possibly suing for the digital to theatrical release as well. Like, I really hope
shit.
I really hope this works out. I want all of them to sue. I want Disney to be knocked down a peg. And like, I know Bob Iger is not the one in charge anymore. There's some other Bob in charge, but
Yeah. There's always a Bob in charge.
Yeah, I want them to get shit on, and not in the romantic way that they probably enjoy too. Like, I want them to lose this court case. I want lots of money from Disney's pockets because they just own way too much. They are what's culture right now. They are pop culture. Disney. So
Yeah. When people talk about things that they're fans of on like profiles, they're like, "Oh, I geek out on Marvel, Disney characters, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, and DC characters." And you're like,
Warner
three of
and
those are
Disney.
Warner Brothers. The rest are Disney.
Mm-hmm.
The fuck?
I miss a lot of people when in the olden days of cinema called the like the 60 like the golden age. What? Let me find the actual timeline so I'm not lying here. The golden age of cinema. Was between 1930s and 1940s. Essentially, 1929 and 1945 is the numbers that I have here. But between that area, that's what the olden people would call the golden age of cinema because that's when the studios had full control over everything. They control the director, they control the actor, they control the props. They can make anything and everything they wanted as long as they are the head of the studio. So, awesome. I personally consider the 1990s the golden age of cinema.
I mean,
it sounds weird, but it has some of the best movies that have ever come out.
True.
It's that period in time where technology is advancing at the same rate as the people making the movies. So it's constant technological advancements.
Jurassic Park, we got Shrek, we got Matrix, we got you accidentally changed the screen.
Yeah, it happens sometimes because I use the number pad.
Oh God, what else do we get? We get. I mean, there's so many that you can't even just name. Like, we got some great action comedies.
Like
Ugh,
we
the
got
the
Die Hard.
downside.
Well, Die Hard 2 at least in 1990. We got The Hunt for Red October. Let's see.
We got Pierce Air Bond movies.
Yeah,
Some of those.
we got some good. For some reason, I'm only getting literally the year 1990.
That's because
1990.
it's. Are you doing that on IMDb?
Here we go. Here's some other ones. Shawshank Redemption. We got Leon the assassin. We got Men in Black. We got that's the original Mortal Kombat. We got Terminator. We've got
Terminator 2.
Terminator 2. Yeah, like
Yeah, I can. You know what? I can agree to that being the golden age because, like, the only downsides that I have with it is that, like, from a social progress in movies.
yeah. Politically speaking, we had Fight Club and Matrix came out those years.
I
Oh,
said Matrix.
yeah, sorry. Forrest Gump and The Mask, The Iron Giant, Mummy, the original Mummy, Rush Hour.
Like, I'm torn on it because, like, some of those movies are also problematic now.
Mm-hmm.
As good as they were for then, you can look at it, and it's okay to find things problematic now. It's a show of progress. That is something that I want to iterate here. Because if we don't see good movies from the past having issues, then we're not progressing.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I can't consider any era being the golden age because I don't know if we've hit the golden age.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I genuinely don't believe there is a golden age.
I could believe that. Yeah, I only say the 1990s because that's when technical filmmaking really skyrocketed.
Yes.
So, and that's the stuff
I mean, we got, like, as bad as it might be, Phantom Menace came out during the 90s.
Yeah.
It was 99. And that movie, despite being nothing but CG, has some of the best goddamn landscapes in Star Wars.
I mean, I'm also looking at like just a list of action movies here as well. Like we've got Total Recall, we've got Mortal Kombat, we've got Demolition Man, we've got Terminator 2, probably one of the best like genre changes of a sequel movie ever. We have Predator 2, we've got Judge Dredd, we've got Face Off.
Okay, Judge Dredd was not that good. Don't put that on that list.
I'm just naming movies that I thought were entertaining. Let's see. Like I said, Men in Black already. Highlander is on this list. Sorry, some of these are not good movies. Lethal Weapon franchise. And then, like, if we even look at the 90s Disney movies, like, these are movies that people talk about all the time. Hercules, Hunchback of Notre Dame,
Aladdin.
Mulan, Pocahontas, Tarzan, Lion King.
Lion King.
Yeah. All of that came out in the 90s. At least it was re-released, I think. I'm not 100% sure.
No, they came out in the 90s.
You know what a term I haven't heard of in forever? The Disney Vault. That's
It's
just Disney
it's
Plus.
all on Disney Plus now. They don't need the vault anymore.
Mm-hmm.
They went like, hey, you know that vault that we've had for years? You can just pay to get in now.
Mm-hmm.
We'll stop re-releasing Cinderella for the umpteenth time. Just pay a monthly subscription price.
And we'll just re-release it there with new graphics every other month.
And you'll have to pay more for it.
Oh, here we go. I just saw. So, when you talked about budget earlier, how much did you say Jungle Cruise made? Could you still see that? Is that too? Are we too far gone?
So far,
Yeah.
It was 35 million.
Okay. Because I just saw an article here from boxofficemojo.com.
Oh, worldwide was 68.
Okay, yeah. Because it also says here, this is the first time I've seen this. Jungle Cruise sets sail with a $34.2 million domestic opening, but adds a 30 million more from Disney Plus. So this is the first time that they've ever shown how much money a movie's made off of Disney Plus, I think.
I don't know. It's released elsewhere in the world, though, right?
Yeah, it should have been a worldwide release via Disney Plus, as long as the country has access to Disney content. So, are you
I'm
looking
looking
that
at
up?
worldwide releases.
Yeah.
Because usually. Yeah, it says other territories is what 27 million came from.
Okay. Okay. So, I mean, this could just be that money that they're talking about, but I don't know. They're not being very specific here. It just says from Disney Plus. But this could be because they want to show, like, yeah, they'll make money off of Disney Plus too.
Oh, damn it.
What's up? What happened?
IMDb. Or not IMDb, fucking Wikipedia. Future. In July 2021, days after the release of Jungle Cruise, Dwayne Johnson announced that discussions are underway with Walt Disney Company
Hey.
for a sequel.
Oh. I guess it can happen. Tarzan. That was the other movie that Jungle Cruise reminded me of. Tarzan.
George the Jungle.
A bit. Yeah. But other news. I think we can stop talking about Disney at this point. You hear Matt Damon is in trouble, or could be in trouble.
What the fuck? I was gonna tweet about it. I'm like, no, I'm gonna save my rant for this. How are you still using that word in 2021 in front of your fucking children? You absolute jackass! Thank God you get killed off in Interstellar. You piece of shit. Ah.
I think, yeah, the article I see here is from Variety, and it says, during a recent interview, I recalled a discussion I had with my daughter where I attempted to contextualize for her the progress that has been made. Though by no means complete, since I was growing up in Boston and as a child heard the F word used on the street before. And he, according to him, he was trying to contextualize how far we've progressed, but still. Isn't it great? It's just words that, sure, like, I know a lot of people are probably out there screaming sticks and stones, but words will never hurt me.
But there are meanings behind these words. Oh, I hate it here. I hate it here. Let's move. Let's move on. Matt Damon, get your shit together.
Yeah. Did you see that the Lord of the Rings has, for Amazon Prime, has released its first images and has released when it's going to be airing?
Oh, did they?
Yes.
Did you put that in the thing?
I did not. I found this today.
Oh, okay.
Hang on. Let me put up on screen. It's that button there. So they put this picture online that I have here. I found it on Variety.com. It is a very beautiful picture.
Oh, is that?
That's what the Lord of the Rings movie is or the TV series is gonna look like, brought to us by Amazon. And it is releasing September 2nd, 2022. So we got a year. But if we get to see this in a year, like, I'm kind of excited. I'm excited to see the second age of man in the Lord of the Rings franchise, man. Man?
Man.
Yeah. Probably see, you know, a younger Legolas and I don't know. But I am excited to see this. Though I hear a lot of people there's worry about there's going to be too much nudity because they're going to try to be too much like Game of Thrones. And
I doubt it. It's Amazon. Like they'll do what they think is best.
I mean, I do expect nudity in this, which I'm sure is going to upset a lot of parents because they're going to want to show this to their kids. But
Well, those episodes will have the rating on there.
yeah, you'll know ahead of time.
Parental discretion is advised.
Mm.
There we go. You
It'll
can't get pissed off at that. It's you can't get pissed off at it. It said it.
It says it right in the beginning. TVMA, parental advisory advice for blood, gore, and nudity. There you go. But
It's a non-issue.
it's a non-issue. I look forward to seeing the show. I really look forward to seeing it. I can't wait. There were, out of all the things that are coming out soon, that's probably the thing I can't wait for the most. The only other thing
You fucking fantasy nerd.
yeah, I know, but the only other thing that I could be excited for coming out soon, maybe What If, but
Oh, dude, next week. Or Witcher 2 if you ever fucking watched the first Witcher season.
I actually started rewatching it just the other day. Because I was sitting
Oh,
here.
you finally watched it?
I started watching it, yeah.
Oh. It's about fucking time.
Like, I sat down the other day and I was making some improvements in Minecraft. And I was like, I should throw something up on the side here. And I was going to throw on YouTube, and I was like, nope, there's nothing on YouTube I want to watch. I was going to throw on Doctor Who, but like I started watching the Peter Capaldi series again because that's where I left off, and I was like, yeah, no wonder I left off here. The reason why I didn't watch this stuff. But so then I went to watch The Witcher. And I think I'm on episode 4 or 5 now at this point. And I gotta say, Yennefer? What's her name?
Yeah, Jennifer.
Yeah. I mean, I thought she was fairly attractive before. But, you know, just some things aren't good enough for some people.
She's also just a badass. Like, dude, I love the Witcher show. That's the whole reason I played the Witcher game for 9 months of my life.
And is that why you knew what to do
Holy
against the
shit.
Striga?
Kinda, yes, actually. I had some of my memories.
Yeah, you had some of your memories back at that point.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I know the Striga. That's only a late. Oh, I know what I have to do. But what did you just? Holy shit! What happened?
What?
You just said holy shit a second ago. Something important happened in the movie world.
Did I say holy shit?
I thought you did.
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I did. If I did, it was because apparently this woman just triple jump the distance of 15.65 meters. That's a world record. Holy shit.
That's what, triple jumping 45 feet? Yeah. A lot. That's a lot of meters. Trying to see if there's anything else news-wise, but I don't see anything else. Apparently today's National Boob Day, according to rap people. That's nothing to do with movies, but there you go. I got nothing. Got anything else you want to talk about?
Next week's movies.
Next week's movies. The next week. Interesting one. To say the least.
Yeah. I can't wait for one of these.
Is it the second one?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh god.
Shark is a shark.
I can't believe how much I laughed at that commercial. What do you see? Brr. Get off the freaking. Oh man, why did I find that so damn funny? But yeah, we're watching next week. We are watching Gunpowder Milkshake and the Suicide Squad.
What are we? Some kind of Suicide Squad?
A starfish is slang for anus. Any relation? You know damn well that the end of this movie is going to be some interdimensional being where when we first see it, it's going to be a big old mouth and he's going to be like, I told you it was an anus. And then that's
Steven, you and your not having comic book knowledge
and
just
that's
makes
when
me laugh.
and that's when King
Because,
Shark
like,
gets grabbed by the giant tentacle.
I'm not gonna tell you. I'm not gonna tell you anything
Mm-mm.
because I already know what to expect going into this movie, comic book wise. But I find your attempt here adorable.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I do my best.
Uh huh.
I mean,
So yeah, Gunpowder Milkshake and the Suicide Squad.
Yeah.
The Suicide Squad.
The Suicide.
God, I'm hoping, Steven,
Hmm?
I'm hoping this beats Shazam.
The Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
I would hope so.
Because the movie, this movie has to be better than Man of Steel on our list.
Because you want it to be higher than me.
Yes. 100%.
I'm going to make sure it's not.
You know you can't do that in good conscience.
Not in good conscience, no. It has to earn
bad.
it.
Yeah.
Think it'll earn it.
I'm hoping.
Yeah. Oh well. Next week we're watching Gunpowder Milkshake and the Suicide Squad. So, anything else? Anything at all?
Nope.
All right,
I got nothing.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, leave a review, leave a comment, share with a friend, all that fun stuff. But yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Until then, bye everybody.
What are we? Some kind of critically casual?